Hello, my name is Yiming Wang, a faculty member at Syracuse University School of Architecture. So it is my honor to introduce Professor Yiming Wang, lecture today. So Yiming Wang is a distinguished Chinese artist and educator with a profound career spanning over 3 decades. He's currently a visiting critic at Syracuse Architecture. He holds a Bachelor of Art from Hunan Vocational College of Art and Crafts and a Master of Arts from Xi'an Academy of Fine Arts. Since 1993, he has been a pivotal figure at the South China University of Technology School of Architecture, where he served as a Director of Fine Arts Teaching and the Research Office, Visual Arts Laboratory, and the Environmental Art Research Institute. Additionally, he founded the Wang Yiming Studio and has been a visiting scholar at Central Academy of Fine Arts in Beijing since 2000. Wang's artist practice is marked by a deep engagement with spirituality and nature and exemplified by his acclaimed flags, Mountain Coral series on Tibet. His art and installations have been exhibited internationally, including the Everson Museum of Art in Syracuse, Industry Palace in Paris, Montpellier Town Hall in France, Shang Art Foundation in Vancouver, Canada, and Today Art Museum in Beijing. His solo exhibitions such as Longta in Paris in 2022 and Mountain Coral at Today Art Museum in Beijing in 2017 has garnered international recognitions. His monographs, including 3 major books, The Rainy Season of Shangri-La, the second one, Mountain Coral, and the third one, Flags. As the recipient of numerous awards, Wang was honored with Wang Yiming Day in Syracuse, New York in 2022. Wang's multidisciplinary approach bridges traditional and contemporary art, making him an influential figure in the global contemporary art discourse. Without further ado, please welcome Professor Yiming Wang.
Many thanks for Professor Wang Fei's introduction. Thank you, Dean Michael Speaks, who invited me to be here again. But I also need to thanks for Jim. He's helped me English for this lecture. Thank you, Jim. Thanks all of you come here. It is my honor to return to Syracuse Architecture to share my artistic journey with you. I began studying art at 15. After university, I worked as a designer for 4 years. Then I was back to school to continue graduate studies. Later, I joined the School of Architecture at South China University of Technology, where I had been teaching art for 33 years. Teaching art to architecture students deeply influenced my own work, my research, and artistic language become closely tied to architecture. Perhaps that connection is why I'm here today. Regarding the theme of today's lecture, toward the spiritual field, naturally leads me to Tibet, a place far from my hometown. My early interest and imagination of Tibet merely because of my father. My father was a soldier. He followed the troops into Tibet in the 1950s. Later, he often shared stories about his experience, and from childhood, Tibet felt like a mysterious, almost a mythical place to me. In July 1987, the second year of the graduation from university, I took a solo journey to Tibet with all my savings from 1 year's work. Starting from Hunan province, I passed through Chengdu in southwest, I arrived in NASA and other places. The journey took nearly 2 months. During the trip, I shot 20 rooms of film and did 40 watercolor paintings. This trip to Tibet, which was rare and uncommon at the time, allowed me to brag about it to my friends 2 million years. 24 years later, in 2011, I returned to Tibet. Since then, I basically went to Tibet every summer. Sketching with my friends on the plateau, I missed its 4 seasons in a day, enjoying the friendly atmosphere with the barriers between people and nature. My artistic evolution unfolded in 3 pivotal stages, each tied to Tibet. Every time when I drove to Tibet, I would pass through Shangri-La, where I often stayed for several days to sketch. It rained almost every day during the stay in Shangri-La, and these rains profoundly shaped the style of my works of this period. Thus, I named this early series of figurative landscape sketches the rainy season of Shangri-La, and published and exhibited then under this title. Later on, as I traveled to Tibet more often to paint, I often saw pilgrims circling sacred mountains with difficult, repetitive movements. They made their way toward holy sites. Their devotion moved me deeply. I wondered what kind of struggle drives them to endure such a hardship. Being on the plateau, I simply spread out the larger canvases across the wilderness, painting on the bright sun and the thin air at high altitude. I feel like entering a state of pure focus and wonder. Gradually, I shed my reliance on figurative forms and turned to abstraction. Pigments mixed with sound become imprints on my canvas. Until the sunset and my physical and emotional energy were spent. Each time when I gazed at the scared pigs, painting with my brush, I realized I was undertaking a kind of horror, circling the sacred mountains too. But through art, I came to understand. Art is not merely personal creation, it is a tribute to nature and life. A journey through which the individual reaches the spiritual realm. In 2016, on my way back from Tibet, a crazy idea struck me. Exactly, I told my travel companions, I want to paint a large piece at the foot of Mount Everest and offer it to the Himalayas. Stuff you say late at night is usually just a drunk talk. It's also pursuit you will forget by morning. Yet, this wild idea inspired itself into my mind. Prayer flags are everywhere in Tibet, fluttering in the wind, symbolizing chanted scriptures and prayer for peace and tranquility. They became my flags, inspired me to create a series of specific works on site under the title. Flags are artistic action. Flags rotate in place and ritual. From 2017 to 2019, I created flags in diverse locations, the Tibetan Plateau, my Guangzhou studio, and even Vancouver, Canada. As I expanded my creation of flags in various places, the project gradually attracted artists, art lovers, and volunteers from around the world to participate. Their genuine participation made me more determined and clear about my original idea and fueled my excitement for flag's potential. With support from various sectors, I had selected several paintings from flags works and held a series of exhibitions in various cities in China and Vancouver, formally introducing my creative idea to the public. To my surprise, this creative idea quickly gained institutional and public support and participation. What began as a personal endeavor grew into collective public art movement, engaging diverse communities. Along the way, I met many friends who shared my interesting, unexpected, and invaluable gifts. After 2 years, the 83 flags, works made by me but made with many others, were finally completed in 2019. The grand wild dream had become real, not just for me, but for everyone who supported it. What is the best way to present this work grown from the sacred mountains and lakes? They can find wide box of urban galleries could never contain their power. These flags need to return to their source, to the vast plains, between the heaven and earth on the Tibetan plateau, where they could truly dance and fly in the wind. In the tense summer of 2020, as the pandemic reached globally, I led a team of 20 friends back to Tibet. With all the 83 flags, with 50 yagras provided by local herders, we together created and carried out 4 site-specific art actions amidst the holy mountains and lakes. The falling ribbons, past glory, and rainbow. Battling high altitude, sickness, scorching sun, hurricane winds, and torrential rains. We forget something beyond words, a beauty that could only emerge through for sure stronger in that landscape. "30 Journeys of our Creation to Tibet," all these works came from spontaneity and insight, without detailed plans. But when I'm looking back, their common spirit is clear: action, sight, chance, co-creation, process, and prayer. Looking back at this field-born creation, I defend my practice as a field art. Field art is a creative practice rooted in unique time and place, emergence of collective improvisation to relate humanity with nature. It is also a spiritual fragment, a prayer for peace and serenity made manifest. In 2022, I was invited to create sites, specific artworks for 3 significant European locations. The first one was at a castle in Montpellier, France. I used 83 of my flags to create flags greetings from afar, shaping them into a pair of doves embracing the ancient castle. The special project to European Heritage Days facilitated a cross-temporal, cross-cultural dialogue with the later lord of the castle, a hero who dedicated his life to ending words. Then, on September 21, 2022, World Peace Day, I chose Omaha Beach in Normandy. The historical D-Day landing sites, I created flags, the silent beach. By the sea, I created a massive intersecting matrix of symbols of earth and cross. With the field art intervention in the inspire our reflection on war and prayer for world peace. Lastly, at the site of the Berlin Wall in Germany, I created a colorful butterfly that could fly over birds, carried by the winds of art. Its flow crossed borders and rebuilt connections between people. Right after I returned to Paris and held my solo exhibition, Flags, Greetings from Afar. Following my European projects, I was invited by Syracuse University. I traveled from Europe to the United States. The Yiming Museum of Art in Syracuse has collected two of my ceramical works that I created based on I was deeply moved when Onondaga County Executive Jean McMahon officially declared October 13, 2022 as a Wang Yiming Day. This led me sincerely feel that great respect that the American people have for art. After that, my team and I visited Syracuse University's School of Architecture and take part in its 150th anniversary celebrations and academic exchanges. This trip to the US helped me form deeply friendship with American art lovers and become important inspiration for today's talk. Once again, art brought us together across cultures and geography. Now, my teacher commitment in China has concluded. This year, I'm honored to join Syracuse Architecture as a visiting critical, where I'm working with students and faculty to create art and further develop my field art philosophy.
And this semester, our three Professor Wangs, Yiming Wang, Fei Wang, and me, Nan Wang, work together teaching a business studio on the integration of architecture, landscape, and art. And we teach from various aspects of artists, the designer, and the architect to develop a series of exercises to further extend the boundary of the three disciplines. So those are the work by students until midterm 2 weeks ago. And we have produced many drawings, paintings, and unconventional 3D models for land art project in Arizona. And every project has different approaches through material intelligence, spatial poetics, and social ecologies. All students visited Phoenix, Arizona over the fall break, and we all stayed in Thailand's west, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright for 4 days. And we live and learn with the masterpiece, and we also visited TSOA. And we visited Consanti, Arcosanti, and the Eddie Jones studio. And we also have had intensive discussion with local professors and students. We also are inspired by Arcosanti Archives long scroll drawing, and students will co-create one in the final. And we have set the collaboration with the John Waddell Studio and the Sculpture Garden in the near future.
In near future, I will return to Arizona with the Syracuse professor and the local friends to co-create a new works. I believe that in this magical place, we will create more than just an artistic work. We will manifest our shared philosophy and aspirations. I hope a legendary art piece will be born in the beautiful city of Phoenix through our collective efforts. Thus, I have named this work Phoenix Wings. In closing, I would like to say my field art was born in the towering Himalayas, the roof of the world. Just like the prayer, colorful flags carried by the winds, it will find its place in every special home it belongs to. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for the wonderful lecture, and also thanks for coming here again, second time to Syracuse, also this time to teach. And from my reflection, I have known Professor Yiming for many years, and he's a very unique person and a very unique role. He's our professor teaching in architecture school, one of the top 8 architecture schools in China, in Guangzhou. And if you can see his past decades of art creations, there's a path. In the beginning, it's really about the more realistic, small-scale painting, still. And then it's getting bigger, more abstract. Then it's getting more and more to outside the white box model to the field. And teaching with, a long conversation with him, teaching with architects, urban planners, and landscape architects for many decades really changed his vision. Then, of course, the relationship is always neutral. So, and he called this field art. And we're so happy he's here working with us together and with our students and creating something really remarkable. We have never done that before. I've never done that before. Michael is really into this interdisciplinary kind of collaboration, and so that's why we are trying to really test the boundary of architecture. So this is something really special for everyone to learn from. We learn from each other. Also, he's trying to also learn to grow. And this time we visit Phoenix, Arizona for 4 to 5 days, and collaborating with local institutions, architects, professors, students, and artists, and filmmakers. And so this is something and we will try to explore in the near future. And so now we open to the audience who has any question. So we'll have some surprise. I'm not going to tell you. So who asks a question, you'll get a gift, bonus. Anyone? Okay.
Hi, thank you. First, I want to say I really appreciate you being here this semester and for teaching with us here at Syracuse Architecture. I also appreciate seeing your work again in the videos and the presentation. Of course, I'm very lucky because I have one of your paintings in my office, so I get to see your work all the time, especially the eye painting. So it's really, I find your work both exquisitely beautiful, but also hard to get my head completely around because of the differences in scale. In some of the earlier slides, we see you painting a single canvas on the side of the truck in nature. And then that painting doesn't end up on the, let's say it doesn't end up as part of the flags or part of the land art. And I think, I often think about like, how is the appreciation different with one piece, like the piece in my office, and the way most people experience your work, which is at a different scale in the movies, in the films. In some ways, you, as an artist, you almost are, almost all of your work is made to be filmic. It's made almost to be in a film and to be part of a movie and to be photographed. In fact, I think in all of what you showed tonight, the only time we see people come and experience the work is on the beach, in the very last shot. Otherwise, the way we experience your work is from the viewpoint of the eye of the camera. Very often from many hundreds and thousand feet from a drone or in a photograph. And yet, all of the work is produced by a group, not by an individual, and it's very hands-on. I find it almost impossible to connect all these things. Maybe that's partly why I find it so sublime and so beautiful and so amazing. So I want to thank you again for coming, and thank you for being here, and thank you very much for showing your work. Thank you.
Do you want me to respond? Okay. So, he got the question. Because he got the question, the same question last time. So, yeah.
Very difficult question. Too many questions. Yeah, I think 我说中文对，因为它这就是为什么说它是一个或者是大的艺术装置，它作品的形态、它的尺寸，它就决定它的作品的形态。我觉得任何人在现场你是不可能看到作品所有的形态的，因为它实在是太大了。我们任何一个大的艺术作品基本上都没法通过 现场观看的方式了解作品的全貌，你只能通过航拍、通过影像、通过记录，你才能还原给你看到作品整个它的一个整个形态。但是我觉得所有的这种创作的形态，我觉得一定是在这个过程当中。虽然说这种大的艺术，或者说这种大地装置艺术，它的形态不同，但我觉得所有的创作过程就是在它的现场，所有的感受也来自这种现场。我觉得刚才不知道麦克院长谈到的问题是不是这一些，还有什么其他的？
Okay, he responded very differently from last time. Okay, I can come.
Maybe we can discuss more next time. Yeah,
What I mean is in
your
Chinese and West. Yeah. So he said the scale of the land art is massive. It's not possible for every single person, one point of view, can perceive that from human point of view, and also all the places. They are very remote. It's not possible for majority of people in their entire life to go there. And so because of the form of this land art, it's really not easy for everyone to perceive at all. So it's really only through those years, maybe recent 10 years, he started to have a filming team, a documentary film, amazing young guy, to help him to document everything. But he said the most important thing is really to understand the site, work on site. So a lot of things is really kind of spontaneous to understand, to build on site directly with the team, and not just like 100% to be pre-planned. And so a lot of things is really to document. But last time it was really last week, and he responded something really interesting. When you build art on site, the Heaven Earth also gave us something back, because they built the Rainbow Project. After they built it, and then there's a massive kind of amazing cloud coming out, and also amazing rainbow coming out. Without that kind of documentation, we can never perceive that at a certain moment have the respondent. And also, and for him, and to paint inside the studio is not his goal anymore. That's his 20 years, 30 years ago. Because after he went to Tibet so many times, he experienced those kind of people. They were so spiritual. They pray every single step in their entire life. The pilgrimage, and also for him doing the art on site to experience the hardness. Also, that's part of his tribute to the nature. Without doing that, that's not art for him now at this stage. So I think that something is really between the studio art and also on-site and small scale, then it's getting bigger. So that's what he's doing right now. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you talk more about like the people that collaborated with you in creating the flags and like what that experience was like?
就和你一起合作的这些人，他们是如何体验？不管是你的艺术家们，还是就是当地的村民啊，还是大家的感受。
因为我这个就也就是这种作品的创作形式，前后它持续很多年，就像现在我来到美国一样，就是也有朋友会加入我新的作品，就是每一次可能我把我的创作意图，把我的观念，以及他的合作的方式或者大家参与的方式告诉大家的时候，可能每次都会有很多志愿者啊，或者是爱好啊，喜欢这种艺术形态的人呢，都会加入进来，每次都会有不同的人，而且是持续了很多年了已经。
Yeah, it's been more than a decade, and every time for every single piece, he will have different teams. He will have his core teams, the artists, sculptor, filmmakers, but every time when they went to a new site, they will be, talking to some other people will join in, volunteers. And also if you see some of the processes, a lot of local Tibetan villagers, and also with all the yaks and animals also coming as part of this team, also And also some of them, they were really working together, they are chanting, singing. So that's all this part of it's a ritual process. For him, every time he would talk about this project, right now, I mean, I'm part of the team, before I wasn't. And then, so we start to engage with Arizona local community, local artists, and architects, and professors. They all want to be part of this. And then in the end, we're going to co-create even new pieces together. So every time for him, it's just like really open-ended conversation. So trying to get more things to be inspired, also inspire others as well. Okay, this is for you. More questions? Yeah.
So my question was about like the spirituality that was mentioned as part of the practice, and sort of how you came to the conclusion that spiritual beliefs and traditions were something that you wanted to make as a part of your work and as part of these like field art installations.
是，我觉得西藏这个地方，就是西藏这个地方给我了很多感悟的东西。就是像我刚才讲座里面讲到的，我的创作分为3个阶段，最早的是被它的风景啊、人物啊，或者是这种客观中吸引。后来可能因为跟他们这个特殊的地方，以及包括他们的信仰，使我产生了一些改变。就是应该是在这个过程中间，很多次去西藏。它就使我的所有的观念什么的就逐步发生了变化，最后变成现在这个样子。
Because of Tibet, because they went there more than 13 times, and every time they will experience more, get more reflection. And something very important is really learning from a local kind of culture and working with local people. And as said, and it repeat again, and through his journey, just like 3 different stages, more kind of small scale about still life, and then getting more abstract, then getting into the field. And last week, I also answered something very interesting I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
He said something very interesting is, if you go to Tibet so many times, because it's super high plateau, it's like more than 6,000 to 7,000 meters high. It's like 20,000 feet high, that kind of location. If you are there for long enough, you are short of oxygen. Then your brain will be getting more and more abstract. So that's also getting more experience that more to get, because that location, people, culture, everything give him more and more reflection. That's why I want to go back again, every time I experience something more. So it's learning from the nature and the culture as well. Thanks for the question. More questions? Oh, okay, one more.
Hi, sorry, I kind of run in between the lecture, but this is like just a question in general. Since we're talking about land art and Tibet, there's this recent incident that happened, and there's an artist, also the land art artist called Cai Wuqiang, and he was like having fireworks in Tibet, but he's like a really big artist, and like he did a lot of landforms, including for the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. So just in general, like what do you think land art, like what do you think about like the environmental impacts that land arts might have on, like, either it was like positive or negative, like in general, like what's your attitude towards it?
因为他提到陈国强前段时间有个作品，然后后来被大家来反映有点环境不好，然后我就想说你的问题就在于。
Yeah, let me give everyone a little bit background. Just a couple of weeks ago, the very famous Chinese artist Cai Guoqiang, he used a lot of fireworks during daytime, and he blew up the mountain actually more than 3 times of testing. Then after a while, and it was on the internet, people complaining about his destroying the high kind of Tibet not in Tibet, I think in the Tibetan area, and the high plateau, the ecology. And then he formed a public kind of apology later, so trying to clean up the mess. Probably it can never be clean as before. But so yeah.
是，你提到这个是不是艺术家蔡国强先生？因为我对他的艺术我不会做任何评价，因为至少他已经做了在西藏。至于环境的影响，那是政府的事情，那么我的跟环境，我觉得是首先第一个跟环境不会有造成任何问题，因为我作品本来创作这个作品的理念，不知道你们了不了解西藏的这个五彩幡，这高原上飘的这些彩旗，它就是我的彩旗，是吧？我把它带在西藏做完，我把它带到欧洲，我即将把它带到美国，去任何地方，我把我的作品做完，我的彩旗照样会带走。就是它跟环境可能不会有任何问题，但是它的观念来自于西藏，来自于他们的跟信仰相关的东西。谢谢你。
Yeah, for him, he's different from Cai Guoqiang. He used a lot of other things, and including drones and fireworks and other things. And for him, this is in Tibet, and they have all those kind of colorful 5-color flags. That's something. If you have the flag there, going with the wind, you are praying, and the flag is praying with you, for you. And for him, all the 83 pieces, they are his flags. They are going Europe, America, and China to pray with the nature. And I think also last week he said something very important. A lot of his work is about spirituality, love, and peace. Because a lot of things we cannot talk in public in China, and he cannot show his work in solo exhibition in China because of religious kind of belief about Tibet. And so yeah, we got a lot of questions last week and talking about this. But for him, that and he's starting all those pieces and really during the period or the beginning of the pandemic, and also the conflicts between different countries. And he said, as artists, and we cannot change things, but at least we have to say something. We have to show our manifesto, show to the public, and we care about this, and we show our love and peace. And that's the hope we can do, at least we can do for him. More questions? Or we can final? Anyone? Okay, final one.
I actually have two questions. One's more practical, but like, are the flags, are they prints, like reproductions, or are they all originally? Oh, and the same ones that are like?
No, 83 pieces are totally different.
Right, they're the same flags. Oh, wow. And my other question was like, do you think there's like a space for this type of work in like urban spaces? I'm like, I don't know.
第一个问题我已经回答了，
是不是原稿在作品？
第二个是否会考虑的这个东西会在城市里面？
第一个它肯定是原稿，是啊，它是原稿。城市当然，我觉得任何一个地方都有它的可能性，只要我们找到一个创作的点，对，它没有限，一定是在自然里面，城市也有可能，
Yeah, anywhere is possible, as long as we find the perfect match. So I have to tell you. So in Arizona, we visit many locations. Artists, they have particular point of view. They need this, need that. They want this, they want that. And then we visit. I suggest many sites, and also the professors they just suggest a lot of sites. Finally, we experience so much. I say, yeah, no, I don't feel that way. Yeah. Because it's too crowded, too messy or something. Then finally we went to the final image. Can you go back? Image. And then we went to the John Henry Waddell studio and the sculpture garden. That's the couple's home. They just passed away. The daughter, Amy Wilder, and she's a very famous filmmaker. Right now, the daughter, and she's there just to handling all the heritage there. And then then we start to see the land is just amazing kind of land they own privately. But also, and then she said, if you want this line of a neighbor by the river, I can talk to them, anything you want to do. And also because Professor Yiming really want to do something about the phoenix just like rise from the ashes. And then she said, oh, that's a perfect match to our studio because they have a 13-room studio on the top of the mountain. It was burned down 13 years ago. Right now they only built one small building. So they also want this kind of idea. So this is a really kind of really interesting dialogue. Then they said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it to tribute to your father and mother, and let's do something together, and we can co-create something together. It's really about something. You understand the site, then we have some sparkles or perfect match or something there. Let's do it. Rather than just like, oh, I see a beautiful land, I put something there. Rather than just like as something still not responsive. So this really kind of, also she's really touched by the story, then we were touched by her story, then we're gonna keep working on this, and next spring we're gonna make one piece right here. And also, and she worried that in those kind of a landscape and all the plants, because there's a lot of cactus and rocks gonna destroy the canvas. Then Professor Yiming said, not a problem, they can be destroyed. It shall be part of the natural process. If you see of the videos, he's just kicking all this kind of long scrolls because that's part of our creation. And so it's really something, everything they are making this. That's why he's using really long-lasting things. They can be outside. Even in the rainy day, it doesn't matter. It's part of the process. So they are original. So they can be weathered for the future. That's part of the natural process. That's what they want to show. Oh.
Is there significance for the number 83 of the flags?
Sorry? Yeah, 83. Why? Oh, 为什么83？
哦，83是一个很偶然的数字。是很偶然的数字，就是因为83的这个数字是我们原来设定的，比方说是81或者这，我们是一个有一点像公共艺术的那么一个概念，就很多朋友都可以来参与，都可以来在我们的那个画布上面画画，就是当那一天决定我们停止的时候，刚好83，这是很偶然，没有设定数字。
It's just like a serendipity. So they planned for 81, then finally they are adding more. Then at that point he said, "It's done. It's perfect. No more." Then that's just like 83. So not something pre-planned. Also, there's one piece they work with the local kids and whatever teachers together. That's also one of the pieces. And not just like everything he produced by himself, just a couple pieces they work with community together. So at that one moment, particular clock, it's just like done, perfect. No matter what the number is, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming and thanks for the great questions. And yeah, let's give another clap for
Thank you.
Thank you. If you are around on November 18th, Tuesday, please drop by on the fourth floor atrium so we will have our final review. Thank you.